Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So let me start off by saying today, I went and talked
What is today?
Today is May 20th?
Saturday, May 20th?
Is today the 20th? Okay, so today is Saturday, May 20th, 2017. Today is the day that I went out to Caldwell and asked Papa Jeff, her dad's dad, for his blessing to propose to Ashlee. And so the plan was, I left the house around 9:30 to head out there to have some breakfast with him. And so I picked him up from the apartment, and we went to this place called the Sale Yard, which is like his favorite place. He goes there every day. And that's where they do like all the cattle sales and whatnot, because he's a little country guy. old little country guy. So we got there, and he had told me on the way to the Sale Yard that he would like to just have breakfast and not talk. He didn't know what we were going to talk about. But he said we can have our talk or whatever after we have breakfast, because, I want to talk to him about something. So we had our breakfast, which Papa Jeff, being the guy he is, didn't let me pay. I tried to, but he didn't let that happen. So we had breakfast, and then when we were done eating breakfast, he was like, so I think I know the perfect place for us to have our talk at. And I said, okay. So we got in the car, and we drove up to the cemetery, and we went to Ashlee's dad's grave. And talked for a little bit, not about the thing, just normal small talk, I guess. And from there we were there for about 20 minutes, just talking about whatever we talked about: his mom, his little brother, and the story about their plots and everything at the cemetery in Caldwell. And then he said, "All right, well, let's go have a seat on the bench over there, because his legs were getting tired." And so we went and sat down on the bench, and that's when we kind of started. And I told him, I don't really know exactly quite how to say this, so I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna try to give you a speech about it. I'm just gonna kind of put it out there, because I don't really know what to say or how to say it. So I said, to start this off, I know your opinion is the most important opinion to Ashlee. I know her whole family's opinion matters, but I know yours is most important to her. And just so you know, I have already asked Tawny, who is Ashlee's mom, and I have asked her other grandparents, but I didn't want to go further with anything until I knew for sure that I had your thoughts on this. So like I said, I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. I'm just going to kind of put it out there, and you can take it or you can leave it. And so I went along to saying, so the reason why I want to have breakfast with you today is because I want to ask to have your ask to have your blessing to ask your granddaughter to marry me. And he didn't really say anything at first, which kind of had me not shooken, but little, sat up a little bit. And he didn't really say anything, but he was looking at me like dead in my eyes, and then he smiled at me. And didn't cry, but his eyes got watery. And he grabbed my hand, like just kind of like this, like he took my hand and then set his other hand on top, and he said, "Of course you can." And he said, after this is just kind of putting it in a nutshell, he said, "I can tell you're a good person, and you have basically have nothing but the best intentions for Ashlee and Charlie. And after the stuff that she went through with her previous relationship, the previous big one, it makes me happy that she ended up with a person like you." And I got emotional, but didn't make that physically noticeable, because I was trying to still be present in the conversation. And it made me really happy, because not that I don't love the rest of Ash's family, but her Papa Jeff is somebody that I feel like I connected with more than anybody else in her family. So the opinions of others in her family mattered to me, but asking them didn't really make me nervous. It was mostly just asking Papa Jeff that kind of got my heart beating a little bit faster and harder. And then, so after he said yes, I had his blessing, he was like, "But I will be truthful with you." And then he went on we had this whole entire talk about him and his previous wife. Down with the fingers, like the 3, 2.
Okay.
And so he kind of started on this story because he said he was going to be truthful and honest with me because originally he, before he told me the story, he said, this past week I've been trying to stay strong because I did call him a week ago, or not a week ago, but a few days ago to ask him if I could meet up with him to have breakfast. And so fast forward to back where we were, he had told me that he was trying to stay strong throughout the whole week because he had the idea that that's what I was wanting to talk about. But, so he was like, I had the idea that this is what was coming. And I was like, well, good guess. And he's like, so he started telling me the stories about him and his previous wife and what life was like for them, and he kind of went on to branch off about Lee and Tawny, who is Ashlee's mom and dad, and we talked about them and their relationship and everything. And basically the basis of what he was trying to tell me is if you really know that Ashlee is your first true love, or the one that you're just like, this is word for word and action for action of what he did, if Ashlee is the one that you're really just about like head over heels basically, like drooling over him, then do whatever you can to keep her. And Ashlee and I made it through the last year, and even though it's only been a year, we have been through quite a bit of shit. We've been through, there's been some stuff that we've had to deal with that most people our age wouldn't have to deal with. But we powered through it, and it worked, and here we are. But he just told me that because I can tell you really love her, and I hope that she is matured enough to feel the exact same way about you that you do her, and I think she is. I mean, I can tell she cares about me and loves me. And, then we hugged when we were not talking about it. I won't go into the details of the stories that he told me, because that's not anyone's business, really. But, that's kind of where we left off at. He told me I could have it. We had good heart-to-heart talk for like an hour at the cemetery at her dad's grave. And, told me I could have his blessing. He gave me a hug, and we went on our way so he could watch his horse races. And, yeah.
Wow. So, what do you think about this story, Ashlee?
Can I not do a response?
No, you have to.
The story, was that the whole story? I feel
It's like the
there's
gist of it. No, I didn't go into detail about every part, but it's like the gist of it, the important parts.
Did you know that Luke was going to ask your grandfather?
Yes, as of last night at like midnight. Oh, there's Charlie! Hi,
But you told him. You said to knock on the window. If you need
I had
to.
originally told her that I was helping my grandpa with something, but then I realized I didn't completely remember how to get to her grandfather's house, so I had to kind of tell her just in case I needed directions there. And which I did end up needing directions there because I couldn't quite remember because I'm not used to the Caldwell area. But yeah, okay, your turn.
So, what do you think about Luke asking permission from your grandfather?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Backstory, about 6 months ago when we first started talking about this, I promised her, she didn't even bring it up, I brought it up originally, that I would ask Papa Jeff's permission before I ever asked her to marry me.
Yeah, because I was crying. I remember that.
Yeah, she started crying when I said that. I don't know if it was just because I don't know if it was like happy tears or what, but when I originally brought it up, she started crying, and it seemed like she was happy that I thought to do that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
What are your feelings on it, Ash?
My feelings. I only feel one feeling.
How did this whole thing make you feel?
Good. I'm glad you did it. Thank you.
Do you think it's pretty cool that they went to your dad's gravesite to do it?
That's sensitive to talk about.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I had
My
no
mom,
idea.
when I first brought it up to my mom, she started crying.
I know I'm crying now. Not a cute cry.
I love you.
It is.
Trying to suck him in. I should have grabbed that. I should have.
Yeah, I got the
You can't
blessing.
suck him back in. It's okay.
I know when I'm
Just
about to fall out.
So, yeah, I did what I promised. I got the blessing. couldn't have gone better. And yeah, and there's Charlie.
Hi, baby.
Oh, Charlie, come here, buddy.
Don't show him how to do it. Just open it. That's never come out the door by itself.
So, okay, hold on, buddy. So, that's gonna be super cheesy. Hey, Charlie, can I ask you something? So, I got Papa Jeff permission. Can I
Papa Jeff?
can I have your blessing to marry mommy? Yay! Mwah.
I'll take it.
Ah, there you got it. Oh, chop.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I love you.
Oh, me too.
What do you think, Dar?
No, that's how I am. Thank you.
Hey, can we put your shoes on, please?
Your face is all red.
Guys, I was getting all emotional about my new short.